term modding refers to the modification of things to create something different than its original state. This can go for games, cars, and in this case, avatars. While it might seem overwhelming, making a custom avatar mod in Second Life is actually pretty easy if you have some pre-existing knowledge of digital drawing and image manipulation software. The biggest hurdle to work around is Second Life's system itself. If you don't have basic knowledge of drawing programs, that's okay. There's probably a better tutorial out there that explains the basics rather than me mumbling, so if you don't have knowledge, it's probably best to look that up on your own. When making your mod, you first want to select parts. Most parts can be found on the marketplace under the categories furry and then avatar components. Or you can just search for things like tails or ears. When looking for parts, it's always important to look for certain keywords. Let me explain some. Bento means parts use extended bones to animate smoothly. Preferably, the parts that would be animated like a head or a tail, you should choose parts that are bento. Non-bento parts are also cool, but they may often have spike complexity counts, so be careful. Since these parts are rigged to your skeleton, they cannot be repositioned. Animesh is like bento, but instead you can reposition them as much as you like. The drawback is you can only wear one Animesh item at a time, 2 if you're a premium user. These are useful if your head doesn't have a tongue or has weird positioning on the tailbone, so you can position your tongue or tail wherever you want. Finally, and arguably the most important bit, is if there's any indication that modding materials, dev files, or PSD files are included. These are crucial because you need these to actually modify the textures themselves.
So now, as you can see, I've assembled all the parts I need to have. The parts I'm using here are the Sugar Cult Fox and Head, the Sugar Cult Puppy Kit Ears and Tail, and the Sugar Cult Project Regalia Body with Feedy Pete's, just because I like how they look. This is like my 3rd time taking this, and it's late, so if I mumble, you're just gonna have to deal with it. When you get your parts, there should be either a note card in the folder, which there isn't. Here it's in the HUD, but there should be a note card or something and it'll have a give PSD. This is important because this is what you're going to use to mod it. So to get started with modding, we're going to go to zoom in real nice and close into that head. Right click it, edit, hit select face, hit edit linked, and click 1/2 of the head, and you'll see this shows up. This is the base head texture of the head. And you're going to change it here. So let's change it. So here, we're not going to go and upload a bunch of textures to test it out because that would be a huge waste of money and that's not great. So instead we'll go to local, add, and I have a folder here, but you're not going to be able to see this because I don't want to expose how awful my organization is because I know someone's going to call me out for it. Where is it? See, this is why you need to organize your folders better than me. And I've already saved a PNG file of the head. It has a UV map overlay, so we're going to click this half, local, and then fox head. And you can see the little love puppy in the corner because that's my reference, because I'm going to be making a Webkinz love puppy because that is my goal. So as you can see, it looks kind of weird. So let's go into our imaging editing program of choice, which is Paint Tool SCI for me, but you might use Photoshop or GIMP or Metabang or whatever the cool kids are using, Clip Studio Paint. I've heard that's what the kids are using these days. And I'm not going to explain how to use image editing software because that's way too much effort. So I'm just going to get started here and do this. It doesn't look great, so you might have to play with the layers, figure out where the shading's coming from. It's coming from here. I'm going to adjust that. I want it to be a little bit more white. So yeah, and the cool thing about uploading textures to local is you see I made these changes. I made it more white. I removed the UV map overlay. When I hit save and go back to Second Life, give it a second. It's going to switch. So using local textures, you can edit what your textures look like in real time, and that's really cool and really useful for when you're making a mod and you want to edit scenes or whatever and it's annoying. So yeah, this will just be a compilation of me doing the texture for the head, and I'll get back to you when I'm done. We're done with that, and it doesn't look too great because it's symmetrical. I probably should have done the hearts on separate sets, and also the eyebrows are there. Can I get rid of those? There we go. So it's a little puppy. The eye is kind of offset. I should probably make customized for this, but for the sake of the tutorial, I'll probably wait. So next is the body. The way I'm doing the body is using Bakes on Mesh, which is fairly new. So we're going to go to Appearance, Edit Outfit, Body Parts. We have our wonderful skin E. Actually, no, it's going to be shape that's E. We have blank skin. We're going to create a new skin. This also works for SLUV bodies like Maitreya, Beliza, Slank, Legacy, Cupra, whatever the cool kids are using. You just need to enable Bakes on Mesh for your body. There's usually free HUDs for you to do this with. And it's straightforward from there. You just boom, open new skin, and you'll see this, and it looks ugly, but we'll deal with it later. So for upper tattoo, you're going to want to do the same thing. You're going to want to go to local, add, and then furry body UV. Since the UV for Regalia is different from the SLUV, it's going to look different. It's actually top and bottom instead of left and right, but it's the same method for either. And local, furry body UV. And the trick with this is you can't exit the appearance editing tab while you're doing this, or else you'll just see a gray skin. So let's go ahead, and I don't have my feet not updated. I don't think they have. So I'm gonna change my wind light because I don't like the shadows here. There we go. And so I'm gonna go ahead and work on the body now. So I went ahead and did the body. I separated it into two halves just because the symmetrical hearts look weird to me, and as you also saw, I made an eye and I did the puppy kit textures, which is the ear and tail all in one texture, which is really neat. So I'm happy with this skin, so we'll come back to it. So I'm just gonna save it. Love puppy skin, and it'll be gray whenever I exit out. And I'm going to edit the eyes and tail now. So once again, we're going to go to the head, right click it, edit, go to edit linked and select face, and hit this little arrow until you see the eye texture, because sometimes selecting the eye itself can be finicky. I didn't actually reference the size for the eyes, so I hope it fits. Sugar cult eyes are weird, or at least the foxen eyes are weird when trying to texture them. So it'll like flash for a second, but you need to apply it for it to show up permanently. But as you can see, it kind of fits. It's kind of too big. I don't know. I won't worry about it too much. But as for the puppy kit, it's annoying to... Sometimes you can't right click it, so you're going to have to go to your inventory, find it there, right click it and edit. Go to texture, multiple doesn't matter, that's just a plywood texture. Go to the puppy kit, and there we go. And now let's do the same for the tail, edit. Go down here, local, and that's our little tail. Now, if I go back to the edit outfit, so my skin appears again, okay, it is the same color, it just doesn't look like that. I'm happy with it. I'm like, yeah, this is a mod I want to do that I totally didn't just manifest in the span of 15 minutes. Once you're happy with it, and remember you're uploading all your textures using local, so you don't have to pay to upload them. Now I'm going to upload everything and then put it together. So let's go to build, upload, bulk, just upload everything in here. It costs 10 lindens to upload one texture, which kind of sucks, but it's how they make their money. So now we have all those textures, and now we're going to appearance, edit outfit, body parts. We're going to edit our love puppy skin and click and drag I realize I didn't remove the reference image from the final thing, which I probably should have done. But hey, if anyone copybots this, they'll know that I'm too lazy to remove my reference image from my canvas. And then hit save, and now it'll actually show up. The thing with local textures is other people can't see them, and they go away once you log off. So they're only there for testing purposes. And man, this light is making everything really bright. I don't like it. Turn off. There we go. And for the head, we're going to do the same. If you forget a texture, next time you log on, it'll be gray, so that'll let you know how to do it. So we're going to go to texture. Actually, no, inventory. Yes, I am smart. I know what I'm doing. That's a lie. Drag it here. Like the other side. Drag it here. You can also do this by rezzing the head out and actually doing it, but I prefer to wear them while doing it just because I like to use myself as a model. It's easier for me. Can I click that? No, I cannot. It's gonna make me go all the way to here. Go here. Do. Do this. And now the mod is fully assembled. This was really simple. It's literally just hearts on a white canvas, so it was pretty easy for me to assemble for a tutorial, but obviously if you have like a super complex persona or something, it's going to take longer. And the cool thing is with local textures, you can keep going and checking back in to see how it looks. I didn't do that because I knew it was gonna look pretty much exactly what it looked like on the canvas. And also just because I'm super familiar with modding in general. To change the eyes, I'm going to have to res out this behemoth. And oh my goodness, this is a nightmare. And put the eye here and here. And then I'll just click apply to body. Hope to God that worked, and I delete it. And there we go, we got our eyes that I made, and it kind of looks like she's stoned because of the shading, but oh well. No, it doesn't look like she's stoned. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. But that's my very quick, very dirty modding tutorial that I made at 9 p.m. If it seems like I sped through this real quickly, it's because I already have experience with 3D texturing and image editing programs, so it was pretty simple for me to understand how those programs work. But if you don't have experience, it might take you longer to understand how things work. But TLDR, just remember to use local to upload your textures and test them out in real time before you upload them, as to not waste like hundreds upon hundreds of lindens on work in progress textures. Again, as with everything else in Second Life, you can change anything at any time. So say I'm like, oh, I don't like how I did the eyes, I wish they were smaller so it didn't look like she's stoned. I can just go back and shrink the eyes, re-upload the texture, and boom, the eyes are small now. That's cool. But it's really just what you put in, you get out of it. So this was a really simple mod, and it shows. It took me like 30 minutes, and it shows because I just wanted to make a love puppy because I think they're cute, and I wanted to make something for the tutorial. It always helps to have a reference, because in the first take of this I didn't have a reference and I fumbled around a while because I didn't know what I wanted to do. But this time I had a reference, which was Webkin's Love Puppy, and I did that, which makes things easier. If you want to make something super complex, you're going to need more parts, which means more textures are needed, but it's pretty much the same process for everything. You just go right click it, edit, tick the select face and edit linked, and you're good. So go out there and make your persona a real